Okay, so hello everyone, good evening and welcome back again to your channel. So today I'll be talking on Bitcoin, BTC, and the new stop losses that we're taking, and the huge sell of the dump. Let me call it that way, the dump, the dump on Bitcoin. So first of all, before we go into it, you need to understand why the dump on Bitcoin was shocking to the public. Now we're in 2024 and we are expecting a halving period. Now the halving period, that is Bitcoin halving. What is it actually? Bitcoin halving, it's when the total supply of Bitcoin is cut into two, and the miner reward is also cut into two. So if you were to be getting 4 before, you will no longer get 4. What you'll be getting is 2. So that is just the whole thing of Bitcoin halving. Now you ask, how does the halving affect the price of Bitcoin? Now whenever there is a halving period, you know the supply of Bitcoin has been cut into 2. Now when the supply is cut into 2, what does it mean? What happens to Bitcoin? Bitcoin becomes scarce, and once there is scarcity, the price is likely to rise. So that is why everybody has been looking forward to 2024 halving. So that is the whole thing that they are looking out. Now in 2024, being this year around April, the Bitcoin halving is going to occur. So when the halving is occurring, we're expecting price of Bitcoin to rise to the moon. Now recently, Bitcoin has actually moved away very much from the trend line. Now let me take you and show you what I mean. I'll go to my daily time frame because we are talking long term here for 1-2 years. We're not talking of taking short trades. Now Bitcoin actually moved very far away from the trend line to this point here. So I was also expecting a pullback to this trend line, so it can actually continue with this up move. But Bitcoin did not just pull back, it actually broke through this trend line and later since came back retesting, and now it's on the move. So that was how I knew that yes, Bitcoin is going to drop for some time, maybe more days it will drop. So you can also ask, how did I actually spot out that Bitcoin was dumping? There are some things I noticed, like the moving average crossover. That is one thing. The trend line break, yeah, that is another thing. And the retest, yeah, there's a retest here, and this candle, that is also another thing that I used to know that Bitcoin will go down for some time. Now this candle too, this is a momentum bearish candle, a full momentum bearish candle, showing that the sellers were actually in charge from the top to the bottom for a whole day, and it closed below this trend line, making the trend line break, and it has retested. So once I saw this, I knew that yeah, Bitcoin is just, at least it's going to sell for some time. For us to spot the places where Bitcoin might sell to, what we need to do now is to actually look for other support and resistance or supply and demand zone. Now the first one you can see here is this zone right here. It's this zone right here. This zone right here. If you notice, price go here 1, 2, and by the time it did not come down here again because of this trend line, but it's close to this zone. And now when it also got close to this place down here, price went up. But now this candlestick here is also showing us another different thing, and it has broken below this line, this zone of our support. For us to know the next place, we have to spot out a demand zone. Now how can you spot a demand zone? you have to look for the candlestick where a big move happened. Once you see a place where a big move happened, you trace the start of the move. Now the start of the move is the demand zone. So here's what I mean. We have to look for a big move. Now we've seen this big move here. Now what is the demand zone? Where did the move start from? It started from this candle at the back. So since we have noticed that this move here started from this candle at the back, what do? How do we mark that zone? We take our box tool, our rectangle tool, and we draw a rectangle from the top to the bottom. Now once this is done, you drag it all along. Good. So we have actually seen our first demand zone. Now from what I'm saying is that price can actually get to this zone and reverse from here, but we think probabilities while trading, so there is nothing like price must reverse from here. So we have to look for another demand zone, that if price should break this one, where is the next place that price might go to before reversing and continuing in the uptrend. Now we have to look for the next one. Here, what do we see here? We see 1, 2 and 3. You can see these 3 bullish candlesticks. Now once you see 3 bullish candlesticks, what do you know? They imply that the bulls were in control for that period of time. The bulls were in control for that period of time. So what does this imply? It means this is also, we can also spot a specific demand zone from here by looking from where the move started. Now where did the move start? We can see where the move started with this triangle down here. From this little doji down here, this red candle down here, this is where the move started. What do we do now? We take our rectangle tool, and we box this from the top to the bottom and we pull it. Good. Now with this second demand zone, what does it mean to us and why is it important to us? It's very much important because if price should break this first zone here, the next zone we should be expecting price to get to is this demand zone, the second demand zone. Now you already know that it has already broken this zone and it might come here before going back up. This zone here is between 39,500 and 40,000. So this zone I'm looking at here is between 39,500 and 40,000. Now 39,500 and 40,000 are what we call psychological level. So you can ask me, what are psychological levels? Psychological levels are level that traders, investors, banks and hedges pay attention to. That is what we call our psychological level. So since it's a psychological level, chances are high that once price gets to our first demand zone, this the first box right here, that is our reversal, or that is our bullish momentum to start from. So that is that for today. Now another thing again is, if you're looking, how can this make us money? How can this help us in our trading? Now it can actually help us in the sense that once price gets there, you do your due diligence and your confirmation, and you can take your long position from that place to the top. So this is actually not the financial advice. I don't take anything here for investment advice. You have to do your research and your due diligence, and you have to remember that you have to risk what you can afford to lose. Don't risk more than what you can afford. Only risk what you can afford to lose. So as it stands now, price of Bitcoin is around $41,053. So we just watch out how it plays. Remember, trading is a game of probability. You are not sure of anything. There is nothing like that we're sure of. It's a game of probability. If this happens, I do this. and if this happens, I do this. So I've actually given you two scenarios here. If price should get down here, it can actually revise and go to the top. If the price should come down here, it can do something like this one and come back here again, then go up, or it can come this way. It can just come down like this, bust through this as if there was nothing there, come down here and retest it like this, come back and just pew to the top. So these are actually two things that price can do. So we should not be saying this price must do this. You just have to watch what the chart is telling you. You have to see what the chart is telling you. You have to know what the chart and understand what it's telling you. So that is just all about my analysis for Bitcoin. So let's keep the fire burning and watching. I hope this helps you do according to what the market is telling us. And remember, we have more money to make on trading. So take care and bye for now.